Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our student-focused info night. Thank you for spending an evening with us. If that doesn't get you excited about Jesuit High School, I don't know what will. Joining us tonight, we have four fine gentlemen here joining us, 3 current students at Jesuit High School and 1 current alumni, Jake, Carlo, Michael, Chris Marshall. Let's go down the line and introduce ourselves to our audience. Jake, start with you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jake Swanson. I'm currently a sophomore at Jesuit. I run cross-country, track and field, and I'm on student council.
Awesome. Thanks, Jake. Let's go to Carlo.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Carlo Pedroncelli. I'm a senior at Jesuit. I play lacrosse and am one of 8 religious coordinators.
That leaves you, Michael. What do you got?
Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Chambers. I'm a senior at Jesuit High School, and along with Carlo, I'm also on the religious coordinator side of things, and I also run track and cross country with Jake.
Great stuff. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Marshall.
Here, unmute. I work with Mr. Ramos in admissions and alumni. I'm an alum myself, class of 2003. So just excited to be back on campus.
Right on. So this is the group tonight, and how this evening's going to go is that we have a presentation that I'm going to show that's going to guide the conversation, talk about academics, Jesuit High School, athletics, campus ministry, and so on and so forth. But if you have questions along the way, using that Q&A feature there at the bottom, feel free to ask these young men any of these questions along the way. We'll have them steer the conversation, but we'd love for you to give your feedback as we go. That's what we're here for. Chris and myself, we are the admissions team, and we are here to help you and guide you as we move closer to the holiday season. It's a great time to start thinking Jesuit, start thinking application. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen once again. If I can click to the next one, and we'll get this thing underway. So here we go. Our mission at Jesuit High School is this. Jesuit High School of Sacramento is a Roman Catholic college preparatory dedicated to forming competent young men into conscientious leaders in compassionate service to others for the greater glory of God. So that's what we're all about here at Jesuit. It's about preparing for college. It's about engaging all of our students into the conscientious leaders in the greater glory of God. So being out there, being in service to other people, getting a great education, participating. We talk a lot about educating the whole person at Jesuit. So it's just not an academics pursuit or an athletic pursuit. It's a pursuit of service and being a man for others, as our motto so greatly says. So as we move on to the next thing, I just want to point out that the 1200 Jacob Lang Jesuit that you are probably familiar with isn't the only Jesuit high school in the world. Currently, there are over 890,000 students in 22 countries at 845 Jesuit schools teaching in that same one mission. There's over 74, I believe, secondary high schools in just America alone. So everywhere from Bellarmine to Gonzaga, all over the country, there's this shared interest in the way that we educate young men moving forward. So you may be asking yourself, who are the Jesuits? And because we only have a limited amount of time, I could give a whole history lesson, but they were founded by this gentleman here, St. Ignatius of Loyola. And he has this great quote, "Love ought to show itself in deeds more than words." And that's a part of the Jesuit mission. So it's about doing good work throughout your school day and being in service to other people as a component of your educational experience. It's all in 500 years ago in 1540, he founded the Society of Jesus, which is a sect of the Catholic Church, and it really stemmed out of his experiences and his life experiences, which you'll learn all about in your freshman theology classes, in your nation spirituality classes, is that education is important in educating the youth, educating the world, and being in service to people. So that's what Jesuit is all about, and that is the very, very high level overview of that. But it's something that's important to everything that we do through every aspect of a Jesuit education and a Jesuit experience. So that being said, our motto is being man for others. And before giving what I know that to mean, I'm going to send it to my guys. Jake, what does it mean to be a man for others?
I really think being a man for others is just kind of excelling in all parts of your life, like, religious life, like personal life, just being a good person and growing in all those different areas, academics, athletics, to really strive to, be a functioning member of society and a good person.
Awesome. That's exactly right. Carlo, what about you?
I think the quote on the previous slide sums it up for me pretty well. It's St. Ignatius said, like Mr. Ramos just said, love ought to show itself in deeds more than words. I think being a man for others, in my opinion, really embodies the word of integrity. Doing what is good and right, no matter who is watching or no matter what the reward. I think you just have to do what you feel is right in your own heart, and you do what you believe will bring the best scenarios and the best life for yourself, whether that's like the Jesuit grad at grad says, being open to growth, being intellectually religious, loving, or even committed to doing justice. I think being a man for others is just devoting yourself to not only the betterment of yourself, but also the betterment of your community. Great
stuff. Moving along, what it's like at Jesuit. These are some of the topics we're going to briefly cover tonight. Again, we have our students here. If you have any questions for them as we go through these topics, this is a great time to ask some questions to some students that have experienced these different things. We will be moving along. We only have an hour, but if there's anything that comes up of interest, feel free to let us know and we'll discuss a little bit further. So without further ado, academics. Some of our students, I believe these are, they're in a math leads competition here, getting ready to do some work. Academics, freshman classes. So as a freshman, when you come in to Jesuit High School, this is what your schedule will look like. As a college preparatory, you have an art requirement, your math, your English, your science component, physical education, or health. If you do play a sport, you can do a thing called contract PE, where you can contract out of your physical education component and open yourself up to more electives, your Theology 1 course, and a world language course. Now you'll see the Excel classes on there. That's an accelerated curriculum within that component. So as I sent out emails before, we are not doing the HSPT as a component of the admissions process, but we are holding that after acceptance has happened. That's a great way to figure out the placements of all of our students into their classes and whether an accelerated track would be beneficial to you. I have a question down here. What if I've already taken Algebra 1? That's a question I've asked myself, but I wanted to pose to everybody. We find that setting up everybody with a schedule, a basic schedule. We have a challenge program where you can challenge into higher level classes is the best approach to make sure that your son is in the best placement of their classes there. The last thing that we would want is for somebody to apply to be in a higher level class without knowing all the basics of Algebra 1. So we have a program, our challenge testing, to test into those higher levels to make sure that you are well prepared for success throughout that. We want you to succeed at Jesuit through and through. I want to kick it to my guys. Michael, remembering back to freshman year, what were some of your favorite classes? Did you take any Excel classes?
Yeah, I took Algebra 1 XL as a freshman. The teacher of that class was Mr. Dave Zelke. He's a big part in the student life kind of part of Jesuit, and he's also one of my cross country coaches. So it was really nice having him as a teacher, and that's the case for a lot of teachers at Jesuit. They're always doing something outside of just teaching. So whether it be like a sports team or a club, you're going to know your teachers on a personal level rather than just in the classroom. Another class that I took regular biology with Mr. Beers, and that was a great experience. I just really liked how he taught the course. It wasn't the Excel, but it was still difficult and it was challenging. And I had a really fun time just kind of learning the basics that class had to offer.
Great stuff. And Carlo, coming from, I believe you went to St. Michael's, coming from St. Michael's into Jesuit, how was your freshman class experience? If you can remember back that 3 years ago.
St. Michael's was really rigorous. So I tested into a couple of the Excel classes. I tested into English 1 XL and then Latin 2. Decided not to take either just to kind of keep my feet where they were and not to overextend myself. So that was nice, being over prepared coming in. But one thing that I would definitely recommend taking is digital photography. I took that freshman and sophomore year to complete my requirements for my elective. And that's probably the most fun I've ever had in a class ever. You go out on campus and take photos of whatever you want, come back in on the computer and Photoshop them. So you're learning photography, you're learning what to look at, how to look at it, and you're also learning Photoshop, which not many people in my class actually knew how to use, but were taught over the span of those 2 years. Freshman year, it's super fun. All the classes, if you want to challenge yourself, go ahead and take that step. But if you don't test into English 1 or English 1 XL, Bio XL, or any language XL, know that you're still going to have somewhat of a hard schedule, and you'll still be challenged.
Awesome. And Carlo, I think you bring up a great point, right? At Jesuit, we don't track our students, but we push them. We want them to excel at the pace and the rigor that is best for them. So challenging yourself and getting in all those Excel classes, but also remember coming in and all of the wonderful experiences that you're going to get in a bigger school for most students with the activities and the sports and the co-curriculars that you want to try out. We have a rigorous curriculum that we push our students through, but we also want them to get out and try new things. That's a core element of the Jesuit education, is that the more you put into a Jesuit education, you get out of a Jesuit education. So moving along, visual and performing arts, just to dive a little bit deeper. This is a picture from our marching band. This is a great picture. I'm looking down the barrel of a trumpet, it looks like there. These are our components for our visual and VPA, as you'll hear, visual and performing arts programs. Music, everything from intro level music courses all the way up to liturgy workshop. And then our band our band, everything from beginning band. You don't need to know an instrument coming in. Mr. Cargile loves teaching students new instruments that they're passionate in, to higher level bands and a marching band, so many different band components, into the visual arts, everything from our media team that takes our photos around campus, digital photography that Carlo touched on, digital filmmaking, studio art, yearbook, all excellent ways to flex that creative muscle, and then drama. I can't reiterate how much, whether you want to be a star on that stage and be a part of the fall play or the spring musical, or you want to be a part of the tech team, the costume design team, the stage design team. We talk a lot about the brotherhood and finding your team and your students that have liked interests. This is a great opportunity. All of our performances, we work with young ladies from St. Francis and surrounding schools, along with the marching band and our cross country and our athletic program. So a lot of opportunities to get involved there. Mr. Marshall, you were in choir. How was that experience for you? I think you made it all the way up to liturgy workshop?
Yep, I was in the choir all 4 years. Made it up to liturgy workshop. I sang at almost every mass that we had in my time at Jesuit. It was something that was really rewarding and something I really enjoyed. And I think it falls in line with the theme that we're hearing from Carlo and from Mr. Ramos, talking about not needing any experience to try something new. I'd been in the choir before, but I didn't need any experience to join in. You don't need any experience to do digital filmmaking or digital photography, any experience to try out for the freshman football team or any studio art or anything like that. So like Mr. Ramos said, getting the most out of it is dependent on how much you put into it, and you're encouraged to try new things and really get out there and expand your horizons. So that's exciting. But back to the choir, I really enjoyed my opportunity, and I always look forward to hearing the liturgy workshop sing in the new chapel. It's the acoustics are fantastic. They're really some really talented young men.
Absolutely. And it's a lot of our students, while graduation requirements and the CSU and UC requirements require 1 year of a performing art or an art elective, a majority of our students continue. I think it's upwards of 80% of our students continue in the arts beyond that freshman year experience. I know I took studio art all 4 years, and it was one of my favorite classes that I could take there. And then as we move in, we got a short video just showing some of the performers and experiences in Jesuit arts. Oh, missed it. Let me go back, jumping ahead, and play. Oh man, take me back. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about support at Jesuit. I think that this is a key benefit to what Jesuit has to offer, especially today. It's about supporting our students in this unique time, but just in any year during your education. We have wellness counselors and college counselors on staff with a student to counsel ratio of about 200 to 1, which is significantly lower than state averages and local averages. Our counselors, their goal every day is to make sure our students are happy and healthy every day and prepared for the future. Prepared for that next step, the college applications, the scholarships they want to apply for, but also providing an opportunity to engage, a resource to engage with your counselor early and often. I think there's an open door policy, and they want to get to know our students from day one. I've heard that from other instances is that, oh, you may meet your counselor when you're getting ready for college applications, your end of sophomore, junior year. Our counselors and the opportunities that they provide, they want to get to know you early and know your name and be involved in the support systems that we have on campus. 99% of our students go to four-year universities. And they work hard, and I'd say that the biggest benefit of a Jesuit education is using the support systems in place. Everything from our counseling center to our tutoring programs to just connecting with your teacher. We had a great info session with some of our alumni last week, which we have posted in the portal. And just speaking to connecting with teachers and the things that you learn in high school that you don't even know you're learning until you're in that college atmosphere and you realize, wow, talking to your professor and using those office hours is a huge benefit. We also have an academic support center for those students with learning differences, maybe a formal 504 EIP plan that use our flex period, our free period, to learn more about study skills and study habits and make sure that they are well prepared for the day ahead and the work that they have. And they're moving closer and closer to that graduation line as well. And our peer tutoring program is great. Have any of you guys, let's go, Jake or Carlo, we got finals coming up next week. How's your experience talking to your counselors, maybe to some of our seniors that are going out? And do any of you guys use the tutoring programs?
College apps are definitely a little stressful. Luckily, thankfully, all of mine are in. I had office hours. We have office hours tomorrow, but last week I had office hours with my Theology 4 teacher, Mr. Lapino. We have a couple essays coming up that are going to count as our final, so I just sent him an email and he opened the Zoom for me right on time, and we talked for about an hour on a Wednesday, the day we don't have school, and he went over I shared my essay with him. He went over it, picked it apart, told me what he liked, told me what he didn't like. I was able to change it right there on the spot and able to submit it a week early. College counselors with college applications coming in, I've had numerous email conversations and Zoom conversations with my actual college counselor. Gave me all the links I needed for support. He actually read over my UC applications, liked them, sent them out. But something I don't think is as talked about or deserves more credit than it gets is our wellness counselors. It's kind of this stigma to go to a psychiatrist or a wellness counselor when in a time of need, especially in an all guys environment. But something it flies under the radar. I've had my struggles in high school, grades, friends, all that type of stuff. My wellness counselor emailed me yesterday, just checking in, seeing how I was doing. When we were on campus, I'd go in every Wednesday at my lunch and just talk to her, and she'd ask me the questions she needed to ask me. I was able to vent. Something I'd highly recommend all the incoming freshmen to do is take advantage of the academic support center, because that's huge, whether it's your lunch or your flex. That can take a large weight off your shoulders, especially if you play sports like Jake, Michael, and I. And the wellness counselors, I think, are a huge aspect of Jesuit that not a lot of people know about and take advantage of.
Great stuff. And then, Chris, alumni, in the newly formed admissions and alumni creation, these guys soon to be alumni, the experience that we're trying to do in connecting alumni to our current students. Could you speak on that a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things we like to say about Jesuit is, it's not 4 years, it's forever. There are a lot of really good schools out there in the Sacramento area that graduate a lot of four-year college students. I think something that really sets us apart is that our ability to connect them with alums. I know when I was going through this process, I visited and took tours from alums in college, the colleges that I was considering, which was a huge part and a help in making my decision, having someone there that I trusted, who had been through the same process that I had. And so that was something that was really helpful for me, but going on not only for the students that are currently on campus to connect with the alums, but even once they've left campus, if there are opportunities within specific industries and with specific alums that they're interested in meeting. So kind of putting those pieces together is something that, we're really excited about and looking forward to moving forward with, just in terms of a professional development as well as a networking potential.
Great stuff. Just to keep moving along, we have a lot to talk about here. Again, if you have questions, I just received a question. Will this recording of this be shared? Yes. At the end, in all of our info sessions, I want to share every info session with you. But in that portal that you use to log into this info session, we will make it available there as well. Faith and justice. This is our boys arm in arm at a mass. Reciting the Our Father, a great moment. You talk a lot about the brotherhood at Jesuit High School and the relationships that you build. It lasts a lifetime. So I just want to speak to these three components that really are significant to a freshman experience, whereas immersion trips are for upperclassmen, juniors going into their senior year. But Christian service, freshman day of service is 3+ hours. It's an opportunity where you complete your service hours. You have incremental service hours that go up as your experience here. It's a big component of what Jesuit is. You do it with your theology class, and you're set up with the Service and Justice office to complete those as you get those incremental hours. It's a great time to give back, to make this world a little bit of a better place, and to meet some friends. It really is a great time to be more selfless than selfish, and in this loud world to really just unplug and do good service there. I did want to speak to the retreat program. Your experience coming into Jesuit, there's a lot of time to get to know Jesuit before you step foot for that first day of campus. Freshman orientation is where you get to meet your big brother. You see there, it's what is a big brother. A big brother is a senior that has volunteered their time to be a friend and a support system to our freshmen coming in. So whether you know a lot of guys coming in or none, you're going to have at least one friend coming in who is a senior who can show you the ropes. After the first day of school, that freshman overnight retreat happens. That's where I know I met my best friend coming from Davis, not knowing a lot of guys. This was a great opportunity to, again, connect with your big brother and have a freshman overnight retreat and spend the night in the gym and connect with your other classmates. And in those immersion trips, these are just some of the opportunities that we've done in the past and continue to do. As a senior, you have 50 hours of community service, and a lot of our students go on immersion trips to get out of the bubble of Sacramento or California and to go and experience the world and do service in other parts of the country and the world, just to see what the world is out there. So speaking about you guys, do you guys remember back to your, without giving anything away, how was your freshman orientation and your experience with your big brothers? Maybe Michael, are you a big brother, and could you share how that's going?
Yeah, I am a big brother. And I think we have around, I want to say 130 out of 240 or 250 kids in the senior class that are big brothers that volunteered their time to, help out a couple of freshmen and make their experience at Jesuit better. But from what I remember about my freshman overnight and my big brother, it was just an awesome experience altogether. I got to meet my big brother and my other little brother, who was another freshman, and we got to meet a bunch of other freshmen and other senior big brothers. We had dinner together, and then we had some close time to kind of talk and get to know each other and talk about what Jesuit life was and kind of what the experience was going to be over the next 4 years. But that night and that day of service where we collect cans and then give them to food banks, that's an awesome experience. And then that night where you get to just talk and meet the freshmen and the other senior big brothers is a great overall experience. it's just something I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
Great. And it looks like we have a question that just came in. Do all freshmen have big brothers? Yes. So I think a unique point is that our seniors aren't required to be big brothers, but a majority of our seniors are big brothers. I mean, it's they want to be a part of that. They want to emulate the experience that they had. So them giving that time and a cell phone number to a student coming in. Every freshman has a big brother, but not every senior is a big brother. So sometimes a big brother will have two freshmen as their little brothers. And that's just another opportunity to meet some friends coming in as well. I know that Jesuit can be a bigger school, bigger than most middle schools, and really coming in and finding those like interests and getting involved in these experiences that we try to provide with a little bit of confidence and a little bit of stepping out of your comfort zone. There's plenty of opportunities to make great friends that last a lifetime. So I have this beautiful sunrise of just some of the other opportunities in campus ministry here. Everything from liturgy workshop, which is our senior choir group, Voices of Angels. We have school-wide masses about every other month. Our daily exam and prayer is a great time that happens every day at lunch. It's a great time to focus on what's come before and what is to come. Ignatian spirituality, learning more about St. Ignatius. Our campus ministry team, senior retreat team, and those theology classes. I have another question here. Are the big brothers there through the years or just during? The big brothers are senior, and in most of the cases, you're sharing a cell phone. You're seeing each other on campus. Excuse me. So they're there throughout the year. The time you share with your big brother, they're always a resource to you throughout that year. And then what you find most often is that once those guys graduate and go on to the next stage, is that that connection will still be there. In many circumstances, it's connecting and checking in with your big brother and vice versa when they're going off to their transition into a new school as well. So they're a resource for you throughout your freshman year. And then once they go on to the next year transition, maybe they need their little brother to provide support for them as they're trying their next big thing. So moving on, we're moving on to athletics. Great questions. Feel free to keep asking them as they come in. This is our rugby team from, I believe, 2 years ago that went on to win the national championship. All smiles for these guys. This is just a look at our cut and non-cut sports at Jesuit. Cut sport being that there are only so many spots on the team, and there is a tryout and there is a cut that's made for that. But we have just as one more non-cut sports. So cross country, football, rugby, swimming, diving, track and field, water polo, wrestling, all opportunities to be on that team as a freshman. I know the football experience in particular is a great one because it starts before school starts. So you're getting to meet guys before you come onto the Jesuit campus. A lot of opportunities to get out there and compete in a sport. We do offer 2 freshman basketball teams. So we're one of the only schools in the area that does that, as well as our baseball team made no cuts last year, which is unique. But there's a lot of opportunities to compete and compete hard and be involved in those sports programs. Our intramurals sports that are going on during a normal year, everything from wiffle ball to our World Cup soccer, where our heritage clubs compete in a World Cup soccer out on the senior quad, our basketball intramurals, and then some awesome video game intramural from NBA 2K, FIFA, and Mario Kart that are done in the SLC, I believe. And there's competitions and brackets there. And we compete at a high level. I think all of our sports teams, they take what the Men for Others motto very seriously. It's about not only competing and winning. Yeah, we like to win, but it comes second to being a good sportsman, being there for your teammates, being a good teammate, and being out there and competing at a high level with your teammates. I know we have 2 gentlemen on here who are in the cross country ranks. Mr. Swanson putting up some amazing times. Jake, can you talk about your cross country experience and coming in as a freshman and how you've excelled and where you are now, just 1 year in running?
Yeah, totally. I think the cross country team is a great opportunity. I remember we started freshman year, like mid-June-ish for cross country. So by the time we actually started school, I had been on campus for a while. I had met a lot of people. I think that's a big part of all the fall sports, which are cross country, water polo, and football, that isn't talked about as much, is that you get to like know the campus, know the life of people, and that's just awesome. Other than that, I mean, I love to compete. All of our coaches are also teachers. Michael touched on that. So, I mean, my cross country coach right now is also my AP bio teacher. And after practice, I'll talk to him about homework, and I have a great relationship with him. And that's one of I don't know, my favorite parts of cross country. Yeah, other than that, it's
awesome.
It's one of my favorite things to do at Jesuit, just run cross country.
Yeah, and I know, Michael, you're a senior, and but to hear that you and Jake are friends, and like vice versa, that you guys are a team through and through all the ranks, is great to hear. So I know we're running up on time. We have a question here I'm going to answer in just a bit as we keep moving along, but we have a short video just showing some of the Jesuit athletics programs out there.
In this moment, nothing else matters. You have what's in front of you and what's inside of you. What you do before that moment is what's going to dictate the outcome. All those one more times. All those do it again. All those final pushes. All those don't quits. Are your allies. When the whistle blows. You can feel the vibrations in the crowd. Electricity crackles in the air. Momentum is on our side. The moment of reward is here. Focus is your teammate. And dedication is your coach. Moments create a scene, and that scene is success. Don't ever stop. Don't ever quit. We are the Big Red Machine.
Great stuff. Some of you may recognize that voice. That is the voice of a Mr. Coach Patolny, who's been coaching baseball on Jesuit's campus for 35 plus years at this point. And that video was produced by Kyle Barr, who's actually an alumni of the class of 2012 as well. I'm competing at a high level, but also being a man for other on and off the court, field / track. Moving on, student life. This here is an image from Spirit Week. It's a fun week-long series of events where our students get together. They get to have different dress opportunities and compete by class against each other. The tug of war. We have raft races. We have belly flop competitions. Just a great time to show that camaraderie with your brothers and compete. But moving in, I just want to throw this on the board. And the last question that was asked was, can you start your own club at Jesuit? So I put this just to kind of inundate you with all this. And this is just a drop in the bucket of all the clubs that we offer at Jesuit and activities, everything from mock trial to the 3D printing club. If there is a club that you're interested in, yes, you can start your own clubs at Jesuit High School. If it's an appropriate club and you get a teacher moderator to moderate that club and you present it, you will be supported by the staff and administration to start your own club. Some of these clubs didn't exist when Chris and I were back there, Super Smash Bros. Club, but I do remember starting the roller hockey club that doesn't exist anymore, but we competed at a high level out there. Everything from heritage clubs, La Raza, our Jewish Student Union, our Black Student Union, to our STEM-related clubs. We say our STEM clubs are an extension of the learning and curriculum that you get in your math and science classes. So everything from 3D printing to drone racing to our robotics team, Mathletes, Science Olympiad, our winning cybersecurity team. So many opportunities to get involved, and the school atmosphere and the ability to make friends and meet people outside of a campus. Everything from our school dances to Holy Bowl. There are plenty of opportunities to get involved and to meet folks outside of the Jesuit community. I think that's unique to Jesuits atmosphere, is that we have students coming from over 80 plus zip codes that are coming in here. So as a freshman, you may be coming from a school with one or two guys that you may know coming in, but everybody's there to make friends that freshman year. And the more things that you try and you put yourself out there and share like interest in, if you like ping pong, you do that ping pong club, you're going to make some friends that like ping pong. So without further ado, I would like to let's ask Carlo. Carlo, any clubs you're in and your involvement in them?
Yeah, I was part of the Italian Heritage Club until that sadly got shut down. I'm in the Theoretical Astrophysics Club, so we just watch videos by Bill Nye and just stuff like that, and just get to know about space. And then last year, I actually was a senator for the Latin Club. With that, I planned I helped plan the National Latin Convention, where every year there's a different location that we go to, and we play Latin Jeopardy. We do ping pong. We do dodgeball. We do quizzes against other schools and a bunch of fun stuff. I know a couple guys who are in mock trial. One of my brother's friends is in mock trial, and he just graduated from Creighton with a pre-law degree, and now he's going to Lincoln Law School over on Alhambra and Jay. One of my buddies, whose dad's the trumpeter for Cakes, helped start the Vinyl Record Appreciation Club. So if you have any interest, even a shadow of an interest, a fraction of an interest, take it to a teacher and say, hey, can you sit in on this at lunch? And they'll gladly say yes. And then you could just sit at lunch or sit after school and just hang out with a bunch of guys that like what you like.
Cool. Yeah. And I'm speaking to the Entrepreneurs Club, is a great group of young men that are interested in being entrepreneurs, and they bring speakers in who are entrepreneurs that can speak to their business acumen and where they've been and some of the successes and failures that they have. And so it's all about learning. It's about finding your shared your shared interest with your classmates, but also figuring out who you want to be in that next step when you move to college and beyond college. Pre-med club, for instance. No, we don't have a pre-med class or curriculum, but students that were interested in becoming doctors in the future set up a club so that they could get speakers, alumni, and local speakers to talk about what it takes to get that medical degree. Kind of forecasting and seeing forward into the future what college is going to look like and beyond. So a lot of great opportunities out there to get involved. And if there isn't something on here, feel free to start it off. So as we have 15 minutes left, our goal at Jesuit is to educate young men to be open to growth, intellectually competent, religious, loving, and committed to doing justice. Really summed up in being men for others. We're about educating the whole person. To everyone here at Jesuit and all the supports that they provide, we want every student to walk across that stage with a full notebook full of everything that they've experienced. We want them to be open to growth and trying new things, to be intellectually competent and challenging themselves in their coursework and the work that they do in the classroom to be religious, to understand what faith and spirituality means to you, to be loving, to be caring for the people around you, your family, your teachers, your fellow marauders, and be committed to doing justice. So being leaders out in the community. I have a question here. How are things like electives, athletics, retreats, and student life being affected by COVID-19? COVID-19. That's a great question. And they have affected everything. And as we've adjusted our schedule and the safety of all of our students and actually having students back on campus, and then working into creating a seamless transition to their academic experience, we've put thought and effort into extending all of the co-curricular activities. Sports can be dictated, they're dictated by the rules and guidelines of our county and the state, but we have been practicing in pods on campus and keeping that active in a socially distanced manner to the best of our ability, creating a safe environment so our students can have an athletic experience. Our clubs, meeting online, a lot of these clubs, taking them out of a live environment is really hard to do, but it's great to see our students step up to the plate and continue to communicate with their classmates and their club mates, if you will. And then retreats, always reworking and figuring out how we can create a virtual experience. It is not it's not apples to apples in the experience, but we're doing everything that we can to make sure that it is as close of an experience and you're getting the same out of your experiences through and through. I have a question here. What if someone's not religious at all? I mean, that's a great question. And I think it speaks to a Jesuit education. It's about education. It's about challenging yourself. It's about, while we are a Jesuit school, a Catholic school, and a Catholic sect, we welcome students of all denominations or no denomination. Coming in, a diverse campus makes our campus a great campus. So like our principal, Dr. Wood would always say, our Jewish students make our Catholic students better Catholic students, and our Catholic students make our Jewish students better Jewish students, and vice versa. It's about figuring out what faith and spirituality means to you, and applying it to your life, and exploring it and challenging those things, and really kind of digging deep and taking that mask off, if you will, to understand what you want out of a high school experience, a college experience, and beyond. I tend to say that Jesuit's more than just a college prep; it's a life prep. It's preparing you for the job world, being a good employee, being a good father, being a good brother, being a good coach out in the real world. So it's excelling in athletics and academics, but also being in service to other people so that you know how to communicate and you know how to make this world a little bit of a better place. And then I have one more video here. All roads lead to here. This is just, I'm excited for our two seniors and their experience moving forward. Oops, sorry. Move back one. And
ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2019. When you walk out those doors today, when you take all the pictures and throw all the caps and hug, go look for your unbending people and go tell why they are the reason you're wearing your red robe today. And then you can say once, just once, on this big grand day, we made it, we made it, we made it.
We have been so blessed to have you as students at Jesuit. God bless you, class of 2019, and guide you in your life's journey. We send you forth with our love, support, prayers, and respect.
I miss it. Wearing those red cap and gown. I would just have to say as well that the COVID-19 experience has been one that's, shaking everybody, shaking every community and every school and every around the area. And I have to commend our administration and the ability to get back on campus to continue the programs that we do have. We have had to think on our feet and make transitions as things change all the time. But we're ready to come back when we're allowed to come back, and I'm really excited about that. Speaking of that, we do have 2 more info sessions coming up before we head into the holiday season. We have a principal roundtable coming later this week. We're going to have our principal and some of our administration there just to talk about their experience and where we are right now. It's a great opportunity to ask some questions about next year and things to come. And then wrapping up before the new year, we have an academic session with Mr. O'Connor, who is our assistant principal of academics, to speak to academics at Jesuit High School. But as we have 8 minutes here left, if there are any questions, I post some up here, but if you have any questions, I really appreciate everyone being here tonight. And I guess I would just kick it back to our guys that are on here for the last bit. And starting with you, Jake, and then Carlo, and then Michael, what advice would you give to a 8th grader considering Jesuit High School?
I would just say join into the clubs. Really on the first week of Jesuit, there's a lot in there for you to get to know people. So if you put in a little bit of effort, you can just set yourself up, just like even a little bit of effort. You can set yourself up for an awesome first year. Just join into the sports, join into the clubs, just kind of buy into the whole idea. And I think you'll just love it so much. I know I have.
Awesome. Thanks. And before we kick off to the next ones, I have a couple of questions that came in. One, very poignant, and it's when are applications due? Applications and all of the supplemental materials, recommendations, and our video interviews and our writing sample are due on January 22nd. So the holiday season is a great time to start that process. And we are here to support you. If you shoot an email to anybody on the admissions team, myself, Mr. Marshall, Christopher Marshall, Debbie Case in the main office, we're here to guide that conversation. We're actually working on a video to show the application process and all the steps in it. But if you have any questions about any part of the process, again, things to remember is that the HSPT test is not a part of the application process this year. It will be conducted after acceptance is there, which is not only a benefit to your son in understanding and placing them in and setting them up for success, but it also helps our teachers and faculty to identify those trends in this unique year and everything that's happened. We want to make sure that we know what the curriculum is going to look like next year, and so that we can adjust and be flexible next year. In considering it, we did not want to put an additional stressor on any applicant that's coming into Jesuit High School. And then outside of that, we do have video interviews, which we're excited about. We've seen a couple of submissions. Be creative, be yourself. We just want to get to know you, answer questions, and just show us who you are and why you want to be at Jesuit High School. And then lastly, that writing component, the essay prompt is a cool one. Ruminate on it and give us your best go. I have one here from Sean. Is there a uniform that is required for all students? There is a uniform. I'd call it more of a dress code. Carlo, can you tell our families what the dress code is?
Yeah, so the dress code is just any Jesuit polo shirt and sweatshirt, and then just any set of colored khakis or dress pants. It's really laid back. It's like Mr. Ramos said, it's not so much a uniform, rather a dress code. It's just a simple Jesuit t-shirt, sweatshirt, and khakis. And then, are there any food allergy options for lunch at school?
Yeah.
There are not food allergy options, but there are food allergy options. We have a unique menu type thing at Jesuit where every day it's a different ethnicity of food. and there's a whole menu up on the big screen. So it shows you, oh, this contains peanuts, this contains soy, this contains wheat, and there's usually about 4 to 5 options per day. Pizza is the one thing that's always consistent. We have it every day. But then on Monday, we'll have chow mein, and Tuesday, we'll have chicken fried rice. And on Wednesday, we'll have burritos. So there is food allergy options in the sense that we have multiple dishes per day, and that it lays out all of the ingredients of each dish.
It does, and that's an important topic and an important question. Peanut allergies, it's a scary thing, and it is. We identify everything that goes into our food items and our more creative food items. We work with a company called Epicurean, where it's locally sourced food. Everybody in the workforce for the company has worked in the service industry before, so the food is delicious. I don't know about you guys, but back when we were eating pizzas and sodas, it's really come a long way, because what you put in your body, especially as an athlete, goes a long way. So there are options if you do have food allergies, and that's something that would be identified in the registration process. So we knew about it, we knew how to handle that, and we have people on our campus that can help out if something were to occur. So, and as any other questions, Carlo, what would you say to an 8th grader considering Jesuit High School?
First off, I just like to say it's not as scary as you think it might be. Yes, there are kids older than you, bigger than you, maybe even faster and stronger than you, but something unique about Jesuit is that all of us have gone through that freshman experience before, and all of us know what it is like to be in your shoes. All of us are very accepting because, like I've said, we've been in those shoes, and the brotherhood is something that's spoken about, but not really known about or felt until you are an actual student at Jesuit. There's no throwing freshmen into trash cans or giving them wet willies or anything like that. We're all in this together. We're all brothers. Like I like to say, I have one brother at home and 250 at school. But the biggest piece of advice I'd give to an incoming freshman is really try something new. Freshman year coming in, I was student body president at my middle school in 8th grade. And so I thought I was just going to run the table and be class president and student body president all my 4 years. And then I lost for the student body application last year. And the two heads of the campus ministry department, Mrs. Barnes and Mr. LaBeouf, approached me along with Michael and asked if we wanted to be a religious coordinator. And now I'm really deep into my faith, and I look at God and what he gives me every day. So coming in, I would have never known that feeling or known that I would want or need that dependence and that faith in God. But it's something I can't live without anymore. So try something new, literally anything. Just try something new, and it will most likely change your life or improve your life.
Awesome. We have some more great questions coming in. One just went away. Did you answer that one, Chris?
I went ahead and answered that one. Yeah, it was in regards to campus tours. We are doing campus tours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So there's under the admissions tab, there's a visit campus option, and you just go through the steps and the protocols to make sure that everything is good and you can come on campus, and Mr. Ramos and myself will show you everything you'd like to see.
Absolutely. And if you aren't finding a time available on there, please feel free to reach out to us. We can maybe make something happen before we head off to the holidays or shortly thereafter. We'd be more than happy to accommodate you. Ray asks, is there a sister school so the young men have opportunities to meet with the opposite sex? Absolutely. So St. Francis is over in East Sacramento, and they're on our campus a lot. Everything from swimming in the pool to being a part of our drama program, to being a part of the cross-country program. Also, our robotics teams work together. A lot of opportunities to meet the opposite sex. I think that on our campus, and my guys can take it after me, is that it's about having the single gender experience and being there with your brothers to have a resource to communicate in how you do communicate and be a gentleman out there in the real world. But plenty of opportunities, everything from our school dances. And I tell any freshman that's coming in, those friends, the guys and girls that you have in middle school, you're still going to have once you're at Jesuit High School. And so when you're coming there with students from all over the region, you end up meeting friend groups of both sexes all over the region. So you'll meet guys and girls that are going to Bella Vista or up in Folsom or Christian Brothers or all over the region. So it is this great connecting point. Jake, can you speak to that? Can you speak to that? The single gender school experience and opportunities to meet young ladies out there.
Yeah, I know that's one thing I really worried about because I like being social, but there are so many opportunities freshman year. I mean, I remember I would have basketball practice last year and it would be at 5, so I'd be waiting at school from 3 to 5. And I could find some sporting event where St. Francis girls were at, like most days. I would just walk around down to the field and watch soccer, or you can go to the pool and watch swimming. So if you like put in a little effort, you can go to the dances, Holy Bowl, everyone's there, the football games. There's really so many opportunities to meet people. I think you get the brotherhood with the boys at school, but then you can also like just have like multi-gender relationships and like groups of people with multiple genders all over in normal times. I mean, yeah.
And I think there's a good point in there. Like Jake said, there's no shortage, but there's a little effort that's required. And I think it teaches you to be creative. And something that was valuable for me in life was the social networking aspect of interacting with students from other schools, where you had to be a little bit more creative in the way that you met them. And that was something that was valuable for me, not only in college in ways to meet people that I didn't have a built-in connection to, but also throughout my life. So, I mean, I think it's a valuable way to learn how to connect with people. And like Jake said, there are no shortage of events where you have opportunities.
Absolutely. And having that resource in we talk again, the brotherhood, and just speaking with the alumni last week and the connections that they have and the resources that they have to really have a group of friends that the bonds go a little bit deeper, and you can talk about relationships and how to talk to a girl and how to all those different experiences that you're going through in high school, to have that support group, if you will, not only from our faculty, but your fellow students as well. And our faculty is about 50-50. So half of our faculty members on campus are women, and they appreciate a lot making sure that our young men are gentlemen when they go out and communicate in the real world. And then I have a question here. How many applications do you expect? How many do you try to accept? I'd love to accept everyone all the time. And honestly, the answer to that question is it depends. It depends on the year. It depends on the applications that we have at hand. We go through a process where, and especially this year, through recommendations and not having the HSBT as part of the application process. I'm not the sole decision maker as the director of admissions. We have a team and a committee, and we really want to get to know each of your sons, and we love young men that want to participate and be involved at Jesuit High School. And so we accept as many as we can coming in with the applications that come in. So it varies year over year, but the rates are normally high. Are there pre-engineering classes for students? So our computer science courses is a curriculum-based course that directly speaks to that. I'd say there isn't we don't offer a plug-and-play STEM program. We don't find that beneficial to our curriculum and the way that we teach our STEM programs. We try to incorporate that in all of our math and science courses. Really, the extension of our engineering programs is in those co-curriculars. Everything from our cybersecurity team to our robotics team. I know those guys, a lot of them have gone on to some big name schools with fully intent on becoming engineers. But being creative, 3D printing, building robots on our campus. Last year, we had some students that were part of the robotics team and ended up building a friendly trash picking up robot. And again, it's about providing those opportunities and expanding our robotics programs and expanding our Science Olympiad programs, our Mathletes programs, so that you're excelling. And if you find that passion within the curriculum and the co-curriculars that we do, we're here to support you. We're here to connect you with those. I think, as Chris and I mentioned before, we have over 10,000 alumni. Most of them in the Sacramento area. We are, for lack of a better word, hell-bent on connecting our students with alumni that are out there in the community in those fields of interest. So providing more opportunities to connect with engineers that are out there that can speak to the real-world experiences and the pathways that they took to get to where they are today. That real-world experience and what you should start studying, what you should start being prepared for in college is a great benefit to the Jesuit system and education. It's really about expanding your horizons and going out there and meeting those folks. Jesuit is a community more than just an institution in a school. It really is. We celebrate the high times and come together for the low times. And so, as we're 7 minutes over, thank you all for still sticking around. I want to thank my students that came out here. Thanks, Jake, Carlo, and Michael. Thank you, Mr. Marshall, and thank you everybody for being here. Again, that application deadline will be here before you know it. I know the holiday season gets busy, but if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We are here to help you on this journey. We are excited for all of you. We're excited for all of our 8th graders that are coming in, and we can't wait. We can't wait to see it. So without further ado, I want to wish everybody a great evening, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye all.